Yo. Today I'm going to show people how to properly use a leak down tester. There's probably a million videos on it. I haven't seen any of them, but I'm just going to do this my way just to show people kind of what's up in case they ever want to do a leak down on an engine to make sure that the valves and the piston rings are properly sealed. The reason why I'm doing this is because, well, I pulled out two big pieces on the roadside. I just did a timing belt to this less than 15,000 miles ago, I think. I told the guy to get a genuine Honda timing belt kit or an ASIN kit online because usually that's the best deal, and they had a Honda kit for under $200, and obviously it's some kind of knockoff, either that or this belt must have been super old. I actually looked on Amazon and everybody's having problems with these belts. They say they buy this kit and it just comes right apart. It's just junk. So he was driving down the highway and it just broke, and it put a hole in his oil pump, so I got to replace that if I want to fix this engine. And it broke his crankshaft sensor. There's a nice little break in it there. It bent this bracket that goes around the sensor, and his little alignment plate's all messed up. This thing just came apart really bad. So I need to get all that stuff, and I figured I better make sure that this thing's sealing before I go any farther. A lot of people just put a belt on it and just see if the cylinder heads are okay or not. This is an interference engine, so if the camshafts are in the wrong location and the valves are open and the piston comes up, it can actually hit the valves. So I don't like just playing the guessing game. So I'm going to do a leak down test. And the first thing I do, since I got this apart, if you can see, there's a little arrow on the oil pump, and then there's an arrow on the pulley right there. See that little notch? It's right in line with the key. So I turn the thing about a quarter of a turn. You can do like an eighth of a turn, 30 degrees. Just so long as it's a quarter or an eighth or whatever. If it's not all the way on zero or it's 180 off, there's going to be some pistons that are up too far. So this should actually be turned back a little bit, but it's okay because I'm really slow with the thing and I know none of the valves are hitting the pistons. I took all of the coils and the spark plugs out of all of the cylinders, and I had this Harbor Freight leak down tester. It's actually just like a really cheap tester. It works, but you can't really rely on these gauges and what they say. You got to set this. I'm going to show you how to do that. First thing I'm going to do is just find a cylinder. You need to have at least one good cylinder that seals up really nice in order to do this properly. And if all the valves are bent in every single cylinder, you won't be able to do this. You'll get some false goofy reading, but that usually never happens. So basically what I do, I'm just going to turn this all the way down. I'm going to plug this leak down tester into this end. Then I'm going to plug shop air into here, and all the gauges are reading 0. Now basically what I want to do is turn up this regulator, and that needle's going to come up, and it says set 0 over here and low here and moderate here, but this gauge is wonky, so I'm just going to set this at 40%, and I'm going to make sure that the cylinder is sealed. Okay, the way I'm going to do this is I'll put a 17 millimeter on this camshaft, and it's good to use a wrench or a breaker bar, because if you turn these too far, the camshaft is going to snap one way, and if just by chance the And just by chance, if the pistons are up too high, it can smack the valves right into the piston. So you just want to gradually turn it, and you'll feel it snap, and you kind of want to hold it back. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, see, I went too far, so some of the valves are open. And now if I turn it back, I know that that cylinder, the valves are closed. So I got this set at 40%. The reason why I do that is because now I can take this leak down tester out. I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to plug this in and just leave an open line. See how I'm doing this? And then I'm going to plug shop air into it. And then that's a full leak. So it's not even down in the red where it says high. So you can't really read this gauge the way it says. All I know is that when it's all the way in between the red and the yellow, it's a really bad leak. And when it's up at 40%, it's perfect. So usually either they leak or they don't. There's no real in between. So I'm just going to go around and I'm going to do the other cylinders now, and I'm going to make sure that they're up in the 40%. And now I want to make sure I don't touch this either. And sometimes these pull back or push in. See, I can push this in, and then I shouldn't be able to turn it. And I pull it out and I can adjust it. So I'll push this in, and then it should be locked into where I set it. See, this one's reading low. There, it came up, so I know that cylinder's good. That one came up too. So there it is. I already checked the back side too, so I know that all of these cylinders are good. So this guy's got a golden horseshoe up his keister and he didn't bend any valves. And yeah, the only range is right in between this yellow on this leak down tester. So you can't really read that. And that's my video. Now you know. Okay, bye.